Okay, team, welcome to the final video of this series. Thank you for tuning in live, those of you that can make it, and for those of you that are in the replay. Okay, today we have a big one. Yeah, we have a really big one, because now we get up into the higher centers. And you remember we worked yesterday on the solar plexus and the heart, becoming that warrior of love, and now we move into the throat. The throat bridging up into the midbrain. And the throat is such an important one because of many reasons, but it is the bridge. Let's think of it like a bridge between the heart and the sixth center. So we have the throat in yogic philosophy. It's called Vishuddha or Vishuddhi chakra, and midbrain would be Ajna chakra. Now, I'll start with the throat. So with the throat, this is the bridge. It's also the center of, obviously, communication. This is the biggest one. And I'm pretty sure everyone in this community has had this experience at least once in their life where you've been in a situation and you kind of know that you were supposed to say something in that moment. You were supposed to speak your truth, and you didn't, or you had something that you really wanted to say to somebody, someone triggered you, or you really felt that there was some injustice and you had to speak up, and what happens? We get a sore throat, we get a cough, we get the thing come up, right? Anyone experience that? Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about the throat as well is if we look at the whole spine, which is, the grossest physical part of the, let's say, the manifestation of the energy that's flowing there, all of the spine is really solid, like we have these really dense, thick lower lumbar vertebra and the sacrum, and then it kind of gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And the neck, the throat, is the most exposed chakra. Like this throat is really open and soft, and the neck is kind of quite a sensitive area anyway. And things that you can look at in your physical world to know if your throat might be blocked, if you're constantly having like a stiff neck, this is a good sign that there is something that wants to be expressed. And it's also the center of willpower and truth. Like how much are you actually able to speak your truth into this world? This is a really important thing, because when this center is harmonized, we are in this space of being an effective communicator, that we're able to speak with love, with compassion, with insight. And the things that block this throat, and there's lots of sayings that show up all through the childhood, especially with women. Women have like one of the biggest things to work on opening this. Like, I work with a lot of females, males too, but a lot of females. And this is like one of the number one things that we work on is this expression, because what's that classic saying that some people might have grown up with? Girls should be seen and not heard, kids in general. And there's this very old school mentality that, we were all, not all, but in moments just told to shut up, don't speak. And it's so easy to get this throat shut down. If someone just gave you a negative comment when you were a kid that you were a bad singer, or, very sensitive to criticism, like we looked at, if the power chakra is not on, we can take these on. And often when it happens when we're young, when someone says something, oh, you have a funny accent, or you have a funny way of speaking, we can get very self-conscious, and this can all block the throat chakra. The other thing that blocks it is judgment and criticism. And for those of you who've been on the 10-day training or 11 days training, when we go into the meditation, when we go deep, deep, deep into the 4 days of stillness, we realize how much self-judgment we have, actually, how much we judge ourselves, how much we criticize ourselves. And all this manifests in actually this center being shut down, not being able to express. And that's the big revealer. When you go on a silent retreat, you're like, whoa, my mind doesn't stop judging. And it's quite normal, but this is the point of meditation and spiritual practice, to try to undo all the labeling that we've grown up with. Because as soon as we're born, we have this separation of man, woman, day, night. And we divide everything, we label everything, we categorize everything. And all of this separation that the mind does, and the classification and the judgments, it's healthy to a certain degree, but if we don't have a spiritual practice as we're developing through our youth and into early adulthood, the brain can't help but label, judge, and separate everything. Yeah. And then when we go into meditation, when we start to go into a few days of silence and we're just trying to focus our energy on one point, we get the big revealing happening of like, I'm just judging everything and everyone and myself constantly. And this is one of the things that shuts it down. And this is actually the center of addiction, which not many people know about. All addicts, this is the thing that they suffer and struggle with, is that expression, that potentially something happened to them when they were young that they couldn't verbally express because they were, too young to be able to categorize that and put it into words, what trauma happened to them, and this gets shut down. And a lot of people who are super creative, like very creative people, like you see it in kids, all kids are super creative. And there's a great TED talk, and it's called, I think it's School Kills Creativity. And it's like all kids are basically born with this genius mentality. We all are. And it's just numbed down through pointless repetition of certain things. And when that center gets shut down, it wants to express, it wants to create. And it's just easier than to numb it with, take your pick, any addictive thing. Gambling, shopping, sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever your thing is. And for some people, this was another revelation that happened about 10 years ago when I remember Gabor Mate was talking about this, and he talked about people who have an excessive need for sport, where they have to do sport every day. And he's like, why? He's like, why can't you just be in this space of being content and feeling fulfilled? This constant need for quite intense sport is a form of escapism, and it's a form of addiction where we're not wanting to deal with something that's quite deep inside us. And it's very important that we do this deep inner work, because otherwise it just shows up and manifests in our relationships and other aspects of our life. Okay, so the archetype, the negative, because we're fusing this with the archetype so we can actually see how this shows up, and again give it a bit more context. The way that this shows up, the negative, or let's say the shadow side of this archetype, is the silent child. Yeah, just blending in, being the silent child. And that's one of the things that school does. You just blend in. Not everyone, but for a lot of us. And when that chakra is activated and on, you become the communicator. Yeah? And communication is so valuable in life, in everything you do. You've got to be a good communicator in this world. And it comes with practice. Ways that you can unlock this, obviously chanting, singing, all the things that we know. I'm going to try not to take up too much time, but we're going to do some opening and activation here of opening up the neck and the channels here, and then we'll go into a meditation around the neck and the throat with a little bit of chanting, not too much but a little. And then we'll move the energy up with the chant into the third eye, Ajna chakra. Now this third eye, some people are a bit confused on this one, because it's depicted as this literally like a third eye, often a flame like around here, varies from tradition to tradition. But this is not actually the third eye. This they call the Kshetram, which is kind of like the doorway. It's the doorway to the third eye. Third eye is literally the middle of your brain, and that you have this master cluster of glands about the size of a golf ball called the limbic system. Yeah, you have the pineal gland in there, pituitary gland, and it is a cluster of master glands there that when you drop energy into this point, which we'll do later, when this gets activated, we really tap into deep intuition. Yeah, our imagination increases, and we get very clear in our thoughts, in our way of being. And this sixth center is really connected to, decision making, our intellect, wisdom, life experience. All of these things come from the third eye. Excuse me. This is wise thought, our perception. And it's our ability, when it's healthy and balanced, to be able to change our ideas and perceptions. Because this is one of the challenging things as people get older. Not always, but some people are just less open to new things coming in. You know, we've all met those people who are at a certain age where they kind of think they've seen everything, experienced everything, and they have their ideas and beliefs, and that's just the way it is, no matter what you want to share with them or say to them. And when this center opens, you know, it's like we are much more open to seeing things from different perspectives, but we have the discernment to know if it is real or not. And that is one of the big things on the spiritual practice that we've got to be mindful of. You know, I did a post about all the gurus that have been named in the Epstein files, and it's just like having wise discernment is one of the most important things on the spiritual practice. Like it really is. Okay, so when this center is out of balance, we are too much in the intellect. So we think of the shadow archetype as the intellectual, because just because you're clever does not make you intelligent. Yeah, but the intellectual person who is just always in their mind, always thinking, always always believing that their perspective is the right one, they lack what the positive archetype, the positive side to the archetype has, which is wisdom. Yeah, we want to be a wise person as we mature and develop, and it's not something that's glorified, and we don't see it that often online, because everything is just, you know, image, like we talked about with the power chakra and Swadhisthana, the second chakra, where it's really about sex and image and beauty. But when you meet old people who are wise, they are just a pleasure to be around. And as we are all maturing, we want to grow into wise people, which is why it's super important that this center is activated. This is a bit of a longer practice this evening, so I want us to get into it now. I was hoping we'd have time to go into the crown, but I'm going to save that for the full moon practice. We've got a very special full moon coming up on March the 3rd. It's the full moon that the Buddha is said to have reached his enlightenment through, and it's the most powerful full moon of the year. So I'm going to save a full chakra meditation for that one, and it's going to be really, really powerful. So I invite you all to join me. But now let's get into practice, and then I'll open up Q&A for about 5 minutes at the end. And yeah, that will do for this part of practice. So we're going to go for some like fascial maneuvers, like physically manipulate different areas in the neck this evening. And then we're going to go into a really, really sweet practice, a kriya called the Aum Kriya. And it's where we, it's called a Udanavayu Kriya. And with this one, it's actually, you chant very gently. So it's not Om, but it's Aum, A-U-M, it's Aum. And you just chant it very gently to activate the throat. So we'll be breathing in through the mouth. And you want to feel like cool energy, like you're sucking prana in, and you're trying to hold it here. So it's like a bit of that Darth Vader sound. You know, like when you're doing Ujjayi Pranayama, that sound, like like fogging up a mirror, but with the inhale. And we'll chant just really gently. And you want to feel like ripples of vibration coming out through the throat. And then the throat will activate, and we'll feel energy move up, and we'll land it in the midbrain. And once we've landed it in the midbrain, then we will drop in the mantra Om, O-M. I didn't have time to talk about it because there's so many things in the chakras I want to uncover, but each chakra has a vibration and sound. I know a lot of you have done this work with me already. There's also different colors associated to the chakras and many other things, but for today, this is going to be more than enough because really the practice is the most important, because we're going through this, you know, transition into Fire Horse, and we wanted to make it powerful, so I really want us to practice more this evening. So once we've moved the energy up, and this will all be guided, but just to give you a bit of a map, an orientation, so you know where we're going in practice, it helps. Then we drop in the midbrain Om, O-M, Om, 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 silently. Yeah, and I'll guide that section. Okay, let's begin. Grab a glass of water, a tea, or whatever you've got in front of you. And we'll go for some throat neck manipulation, and then we will go into the actual more meditative part of practice. Okay. Please join your palms together in front of your heart and find your drishti, your focal point. Start to activate slow, deep, calm breathing. Relax the abdomen and really breathe diaphragmatically. Take a big breath in and exhale through the mouth. Close the eyes. Really soften into your center, which is grounding down through the sit bones, feeling everything connected to the surface that supports you. We just spend a minute attuning our mind, harmonizing it with the breath, unifying it, so that the mind has an object to rest on. Take a moment to set any personal intentions that you have with these centers. If anything that I spoke about this evening sounded true to you, set an intention to release maybe an aspect of one of these energy centers or chakras. May we all call forth all that is good, true, pure, and beneficial for humanity within our practice. How may we all serve? Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Rub your hands together. Rub your knuckles together. Rub your middle knuckles together. Rub your nails together. Also, if you've got any big jewelry on, I'd recommend taking it off for this. Rub the palms together. You can really start to feel that charge of energy in the hands. We do the clap again, with the fingers aligning with each other. Rub one more time. And feel that energy between the hands. You really start to play with that field. Like you can really, like the more you do this, the more you can start to sense that field of energy. I'd like you to bring that into your throat and just bring your hands on your throat. Feel the warmth, the vibration, the energy on your throat. Feel the tissues of the hands, the skin of the hands, and the throat really just connecting with each other, forming a field of energy here. Just feel into your throat and tell your throat that it is safe for me to speak my truth. It is safe for me to speak my truth. It is safe for me to speak my truth. And what I have to say is valuable. What I have to say is valuable. What I have to say is valuable. Now take your right hand, I'm not going to mirror, and place it on your left collarbone. And you want to kind of press and drag the skin down on your left collarbone and take your left hand to your left jaw and stretch these 2 points away. So you like kind of make a line and open this line of energy here. Now press your chin up and back and go mouth breathing, so in and out through the mouth. Again, like you're sucking in through a giant straw. Good. In and out through the nose 3 times. Sorry, in nose, out mouth. 3 times. Beautiful. And gently release it, relax it, shake out the hands. Go to the other side. Left hand onto the right collarbone, press it down. Right hand onto the right chin/jaw. Press your head up and away. Feel the dragging or stretching of the skin and fascia. Mouth breathing 3 times. Be as deep as you can. One more. Now in nose, out mouth. Good. 3 times, last one. Beautiful. Come out slow, shake out the hands. Might feel quite intense for you. Let the fascia and skin release gently. Now we take the left hand up onto the trapezius muscle. I want you to go up on the top and get like a real grip on the trap and drag the skin. So I lock it. For those of you who are not sure what I'm talking about locking, it's when you press skin down a muscle and you drag it. It doesn't slide, but you press into the superficial layer of fascia and drag it. We'll move, you can see my skin moving about 1 centimeter each way. So you drag this side down and you relax. Right hand up over the head to the left ear, and you just very gently stretch the trap down and the neck across. Be gentle here, okay? Mouth breathing 3 times mouth. You can move the head until you find a really tight line, and when you find a tight line, stay there. Good. Once you've done 3, go in nose, out mouth for 3. Make it orgasmic if you need to. Do a sigh of relief, like you're sighing out tension from the body. And let the hands release. Oi, that's a big one. Yeah. Be gentle, Don't go into any stories of it being too intense. Just let the energy move. Let it move through you. And then we'll go straight into the other side. Right hand comes up onto the right trap. Press the hand, drag the skin. Left hand up and over. And then just move the 2 apart. So the left hand just rests on the right side of the head. We're not physically pulling it down. We're just relaxing the arm and shoulder. And the same, we've gripped the right trap, mouth breathing 3 times. Yeah. Try to make a little sigh of release as you breathe out. Breathe in as deep as you can, as slow as you can, as fully as you can. Beautiful. When you've done that, in nose and out mouth 3 times. You can use that right hand to go a little bit more powerfully on the trap if needed. Very good. And last one. Slowly release it. Oof. Come out nice and gentle. Okay, let's help to release that. Interlace your fingers behind your head, like this with the thumb connecting. Now, we want to go underneath this bony landmark, the occipital ridge or occiput. And if you can see here, I'm starting on my neck, but I'm dragging the skin up into the back of the skull. And I just want you to lean back and stretch the skin, the back of the neck, up into the base of the brain, and go in mouth 3 times. Out mouth. Beautiful. Last one. And then we go in nose and out mouth 3 times. Oh la la. Okay, very nice. Come down, shake it out. Okay, now your thyroid is like a bib that sits here just over this section of your throat. I want you to take your right hand underneath that bib and stretch the skin down, and I want you to take your left hand above it. You know, guys, we have the Adam's apple here, so you go one under, a few centimeters, one above, and for women it's just one under, one below, and then you press up into the glands in the underside of the jaw here. So you press in. It feels quite intense. It's not like, oh, I can't talk when I'm doing it. It's really like so stretch them apart and then go mouth breathing 3 times. Good. Then in nose and out mouth 3 times. Wow. Keep going. When you've done it, release. Take a moment just to feel it. Feel it, feel it, feel it. It's a very powerful one. Bring your right hand onto the throat, left hand to the top of the head just to seal the energy in. You might feel energy moving more freely through the neck and the throat. Okay, we now go into seated meditation practice with eyes closed. We'll begin with the chanting of Aum, and then we'll move it up into the midbrain. All guided. Get comfy. Close your eyes, drop into your center. Feel all that vibration, feel the work that we did with the maneuvers and opening the neck and throat and how much more free it feels. So we've removed some of the blockages there, now we're going to put some energy in there. And the grossest form of way that we manipulate and move energy is via our breathing. Now do that Darth Vader Ujjayi breath on your next inhale and draw cool prana into the throat. Hold it. Feel a ball of energy building in your throat with the breath held in. And now very gently chant Aum as you breathe out. Aum. Really concentrate on the R, the U, and the Inhale mouth. Suck that cool prana in and then hold the breath in momentarily. Feel the throat pulsing, activating the energy and prana there. Beautiful. Keep going. We'll do this for a few minutes. Hold the breath in. Hold that energy pulsing in your throat. Sucking that cool prana into the level of the throat, holding the breath in for a second. Feel the pulse of energy in your throat. Chant the Aum gently as you breathe out. Aum. Good. 3 more times. Getting softer and softer now. Draw it in. Hold the breath in for a moment. Feel the pulsing. And as you chant Aum, feel it vibrating out into the space around you. Aum. Aum. Pause, concentrate on the throat, feel pulsing, feel vibrating at the level of the throat center. Feel the energy moving from the center of the throat, up the throat, up through the neck, through the underside of the jaw, around the ears, enveloping and moving through the brain. And just feel this energy moving up. And then do it again. Go back to the level of the throat. Keep moving the energy from the throat all the way up, round the neck, around the back of the skull, jaw, inside, outside, energy moving up. If you're visual, visualize a deep blue lotus flower blooming from the throat and the petals unfolding through the throat, around the neck, enveloping the brain. Do it one more time, just moving energy up from the throat, and it can just be vibration, it can be following the circulation, the nervous system. There's so many things happening in this part of the body to feel. And then we move the energy up into the midbrain, to the home of the limbic system. And we'll use mantra for this evening. There are other ways to harmonize this, but now move to the mantra Om, O-M. And feel Om pulsing from within the brain, right in the center of your brain. Can you just sense Om, 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 Hum, pulsing at your midbrain? For the next moments in time, that is our meditation object. Staying connected to this feeling of Om, 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 pulsing within your midbrain. Now feel Om as a vibration, as a pulsation, and feel it unfold from this cluster of master glands in the limbic system. Om, Om, Hum, Hum, Hum. Continue to meditate on Om, O-M. The sixth center is deeply connected to the nervous system, so it's normal if you feel a pulse through the brain and through the nervous system. Can even feel like the whole body's pulsing sometimes with this mantra. Feel Om tapping you into that divine wisdom, that innate intelligence and wisdom that is all around us. Stay focused, stay present, keep feeling the pulse of Om unfold from the midbrain. Some of you might feel Om naturally fade away and be left with the pulse. Otherwise, keep feeling it. Om, Om, Om. Feel it harmonizing the nervous system and awakening this sixth center. Stay connected to the mantra, stay connected to the pulse of energy. Remember, you're tapping into a grid, a field of energy that's already there. Okay, we will now either stay here, but if you're feeling like you're very activated and you're practicing this at the night, please switch to Anapana. Switch to nasal breathing, mindfulness, breath awareness, just watching the body breathe itself. But if you're going deep into Om at the midbrain and you want to keep practicing with that, keep going for another few moments. If you feel like you need to cool down, if you're getting ready for bed, switch to Anapana and meditate on the sensation of the breath moving in and out through the nose. Slowly come back. Deepen your breath a little and very softly just bring your hands together at your heart or on your heart. Just take a few minutes to close with gratitude. Can you just appreciate the simple things of this present moment? The clothes you're wearing, the breath you're experiencing, the heartbeat that moves through you, and all of the things around you in the space that you're in. Can you just bless them all with your loving awareness and gratitude and appreciation? Like, we sometimes take it for granted how incredible the internet is, that we can just jump on from all different parts of the globe and practice like this together. Take a moment to bless yourself, thank yourself for your commitment to practice. And thank everybody in the community for the collective energy and collective practice over this last couple of days. Take a moment to acknowledge all of our teachers, thank them for the wisdom that they have given us. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it all go. Softly rub your hands, like really soft, and cup the hands over the eye sockets to block out the light. You can keep the eyes closed, or you can open them in the darkness and feel the warmth, the vibration, the healing energy flood in, giving them some love and kindness today. Feel the eyes being rejuvenated, stimulated, ready for us to see the world from a brand new perspective. Close the eyes, bring the palms at the heart, and then when you're ready, open your eyes, find the same focal point you started practice with. Take a minute to come back to the space, but lock your gaze on. Lock your gaze on to that point so you come back around slowly. Let your peripheral vision take in the room slowly, but you root yourself right at the center of all that you're experiencing. In full control, in energetical alignment, and ready to move back out into the world. Take your time as you move your body around. I just want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the practice today. Beautiful. Okay, team. I will open up for Q&A if anyone has any questions. And please stay around till the end, because I have a exciting announcement. Ask all to unmute. So if you have any questions, let me know. And if you don't, then I'll jump into the announcement, because a couple of people asked me on the back end, and I was like, yeah, I know, I need to do it. So if you have a question, raise a hand. If not, let me know, and take your time to come back around. They're two very deep practices. Okay. So that was a lot of fun for me, and I just don't have enough time. It's like 3 hours is so short. So I used to teach this workshop over 10 hours on the chakras, and I've learned so much more since I used to teach that workshop. That workshop's like 10 years old now. So I am going to run something in the new year in March, when we get to that equinox period where it's like going to shift into spring for some of us and the opposite for everyone down under. And it's going to be a 25-hour series all on the chakras. I'm going to do a weekend live where I go live for 5 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday on the 21st and 22nd, followed by a week-long, 7 days of 90 minutes practice to go really deep into each chakra. So I'm really excited to host that. So if you'd like to be a part of that, drop me a message. I'll post everything on the community. I'm going to post everything before it goes live, and everyone in the community will have a big discount before I publish this at the end of next week. Because it's just so important. It's so important to understand the chakras, and there were so many things I just didn't have time to go into. And yeah, when you understand the archetypes and you can see how they play out in your life, it's easier to work through them. And all these specific practices are accumulation of just so many different traditions that I've studied. And there will be some movement in there like we did today, you know, with all these opening series, because it helps to target that even more. If anyone has any questions about anything, please feel free to raise a hand, and if not, that's cool too. Okay, team. So for us in Europe, it's getting late. For everyone in Australia, have an amazing day. Sending you all much love. And if you found this beneficial, feel free to invite anyone. They can access it on the school page. I'll put a link in where everyone can find it. The 3 days will be online under the classroom section. So everyone, good luck with the fire horse. This is our year to just like rock it. I hope you feel it. This is really it's a time where it's like we're just stepping into a new version of ourselves with a lot more authenticity, strength, and power. So go for it. Time to speak your truth, and really come from a place of wisdom. All right, everyone. Much love. I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Recording stopped.